Hey everyone, how's it going? Got another horror flick pick this week. This week I chose Silent Night, Deadly Night. This is one of the kind of lesser well known slasher movies from the 80s. This was released in 1984, and the story follows this little boy named Billy who witnesses his parents get murdered on Christmas Eve by a guy dressed in a Santa suit. After that, he goes and lives in an orphanage where he's kind of verbally and sometimes physically abused by these nuns that work there. And as he grows older, he kind of forgets about what happened to his parents because he was so young, but he kind of fails to be able to suppress those memories around Christmas time when that rolls around every year, and he kind of has flashbacks of what happened. And whenever Santa comes to the orphanage to visit, he's terrified and he's really angry. So all seems to go well until he's 18 and he's living out on his own. And one night at around Christmas time, his manager at this store that he works for asks him to put on the Santa suit and pretend to be Santa for the kids. And once he's wearing the suit and everything, all of those suppressed memories and everything kind of come rushing back to him, and he decides to go on a rampage and kill everyone while wearing this Santa costume. Really, really great concept. I really liked how it started off showing him when he was young and seeing what happened and what caused him to be the way he is. Like, the storyline to me felt very logical, like that's something that could really happen. I feel like a kid who witnesses that could very easily snap later on in his life. So it was just a smart concept, clever. Kills were pretty clever in the movie. It was well acted, not too over the top gory, which is kind of surprised me for a horror movie from that time period, from the early 80s. But like most other slasher movies from that time, there's definitely gratuitous nudity and sex. The reason I think it's not as well known, I mean, diehard horror fans for sure know this movie, but I know some people I talk to that, they like horror movies, maybe aren't diehard fans, they haven't heard of this, and I think that's because of the great deal of controversy that surrounded the movie when it was released. Mothers everywhere and PTA boards at schools protested the movie and tried to get it banned because, they didn't like the idea of this movie being released with a guy in a Santa suit going around killing people, and they're afraid of, what it would, how their kids would react if they saw this. And I know that or I heard that, especially when TV spots for the movie were aired on TV and it showed, this guy in a Santa suit walking around with an axe and going after people, that's when mothers really started petitioning and tried to get this movie, completely banned. So I believe it was only in the theaters for like 2 weeks before it got pulled out, and then I think, no one had really heard anything about it for probably years before, the controversy died down a little bit and they re-released it, and not into theaters, but, onto VHS and so forth. What was interesting about this movie that I recently read was that it came out the same opening weekend as A Nightmare on Elm Street and actually outperformed A Nightmare on Elm Street in its opening weekend. Only by a small amount, but it would have been interesting to see, had the movie not been pulled from the theaters from all that controversy, how it would have competed with A Nightmare on Elm Street at that time. But anyways, great movie. If you haven't seen it, watch it for sure. In my opinion, this is a little bit better than Black Christmas. I like Black Christmas a lot too, but this is one of the better horror Christmas movies that I've seen. Like I said, well acted, good tone and atmosphere, great concept, very clever. As you can see on the back here, yeah, it has a lot about the protesters and the mothers that tried to stop it, community leaders and so forth. This is the original unrated version. I don't know that you can buy it any other way. Definitely worth checking out, as I said. So let me know what you guys think, if you've seen it, what you thought of it, and please subscribe. I'm going to try to do videos more often, maybe a couple a week. So thanks for watching, and take care.